everyone, and welcome to another of our Speech Bites videos, your 5 minute fix of language tips. This is presented by myself, Becky Frewin, speech and language therapist, in conjunction with the Reach Out Early Years Stronger Practice Hub based in the east of England. Today's topic is English as an additional language and how to support children in your setting who are doing just that. The first thing we need to think about is that children learning EAL are not a homogenous group. They don't all look the same. So some children may have newly arrived into the country and they may have little or no English. Some have been born in the UK, so may have varying degrees of English. Some may already have English as the dominant language, but also speak other languages, and others are just competent bilinguals. So we can't assume that just because a child is labelled an EAL learner, that they don't have the knowledge and language skills needed for cognitive development. We need to realise when we're thinking about these children that EAL isn't a delay, it's actually an additional skill that is going to come in so helpful to them in the future. If you want to get a lot more information than I can give you in 5 minutes, please go and have a look at this document on birth5matters.org.uk, understanding the steps of learning for children with English as an additional language in the early years. This is an absolute wealth of information that I'm sure you'll find very useful. Children learning EAL may present in one of two ways. We have a cohort of children who acquire English more or less silently, and you just see them kind of watching and observing and taking it all in. And then you have children who try both languages and take a very much mix and match chatter approach. And both of these are fine. There was a huge piece of research done by Jim Cummins, which stated that children entering a setting where a different language is spoken to that is their first language, they may take up to 2 months to begin to understand the new language, in this case English. They may take 2 years before they can understand the conversation, and it may take up to 7 years before they can have full understanding of the new language. So we need to give these children time, and we need to give them opportunity to acquire their new language. So typical language behaviours that you might see in EAL learners, as I've said before, that watching closely, observing. They will still be using gestures, facial expression, and pointing to communicate. The intent to communicate will still be there. There may be single words or learned phrases, and there may be some language mixing, which we actually call code switching. And this is a normal sign of flexible language processing and is actually a really positive sign and very, very expected. There is a lot of evidence for supporting both languages when a child is speaking more than one language. Obviously, maintaining the home language is really important for family relationships. Supporting both languages has academic and cognitive advantages, and also a strong exposure to a first language, whatever that may be, facilitates successful acquisition of a second language. We also know that bilingualism doesn't cause a language impairment, so there's no reason not to use both languages. So what can you be doing in setting to help your EAL learners? Keep language rich and repetitive, so short, simple sentences and repeating key vocabulary, particularly in meaningful contexts like snack time or garden time. Use lots of visual support where you can, such as pictures, objects, gestures. Build on the home language where you can. So perhaps have some books in the child's home language in setting. Maybe try and get familiar with some sort of common everyday words or greetings that you can use in setting. And always be modelling and expanding language. So if they say ball, expand that out to, oh yes, a big red ball. It's also really important that children have the opportunity to listen to English. So you have to listen to a language in order to learn it. And it also takes children out of the spotlight and it takes the pressure off. So when you're doing any listening activities, make sure that child has preferential seating so they can access all the lovely visual cues that you'll be giving. Keep vocabulary consistent, so use the same phrases each time. Have a quiet time where children can listen and tune into spoken language, and also do some more general listening games such as matching animal sounds to their animals or thinking about environmental sounds. Communication is really important, clearly, when supporting a child with EAL, but we often think that centres around the child, but it's not just the child. Good communication between parents and staff is key, the child and their friends in the setting, the child and staff, parents and other parents as well. So parent support is really, really important, and also between the parent and the child. So making sure that all the lovely strategies we're using in setting are going home as well. When we should seek support is if parents flag up that there may be difficulty in both or all languages. So children can have speech and language delays when they're bilingual, and this isn't because they're bilingual. If we see a language deficit in the first language, we need to get a speech and language therapist on board to have a little look into what's going on. If a child isn't using many gestures, isn't really responding to speech or more general sounds around them, that's a sign to get some more support in. And whenever we see a regression in any skill, but obviously particularly in this little video, language and communication, we should get that child checked out. So in summary, EAL is an asset, but development takes time. So we need to recognise that understanding develops before speaking, and that we need to give children lots and lots of opportunities to listen to the language that they're acquiring. A strong home language will equate eventually to a strong foundation in English. So keep encouraging that good home language model at home. Everyday interactions are really powerful teaching tools. So put as much language as you can into those everyday routines. And as ever, making a child feel safe and secure builds confidence, and with that comes communication. So that's really, really key. As ever, you can always access the Education Endowment Foundation Early Years Evidence Store, which is a web-based resource which talks you through all of the current evidence across the early years foundation stage, so you can check that everything you're doing is backed by current evidence. And if you want to reach out and connect to the Early Years Stronger Practice Hub, please do use these QR codes to see how they can support you fully funded and improve the outcomes of the children in your setting. I hope you found that useful, and I look forward to seeing you for the next of our Speech Bites videos. Bye bye.